Today, I want to talk a bit about generations. So, it's no secret that the popular thing to say nowadays is that these kids don't want to work and all they do is eat avocado toast and other things like that. But I swear I've never met anyone that actually eats avocado toast. So, I have no idea who even came up with that whole avocado toast thing. Anyway, like I said, I wanted to talk about generations. So, for those unaware, depending on your age, there are different generations. If you're considered a boomer, you're between the ages of 58 and 76. But according to this website, Beresford Research, it'll be linked down below, there's a second boomer category, which is called Boomers 2, because the second boomer generation was just young enough to miss the war. Anyway, after that, you have the Gen Xers, who are between the ages of 42 and 57. You have millennials, who are between the ages of 26 and 41. And finally, you have the Gen Zers, who are between the ages of 10 and 25. The thing I've realized about the older generations is how much time they spend trying to discount each other and bring each other down. Let me explain what I mean. If you go on TikTok or Instagram or basically any other form of social media, you don't have to scroll for a long time to come across a motivational post. Usually it'll be of somebody waking up and making food and going about their day and giving some type of motivational quote at the end of it or something like that. And I remember watching one and I went to the comments and there were people saying thanks for the motivation and I love how you did this or that or whatever. They're just giving the person props, and that's where I got the whole idea for this video. We have a whole generation that's working to motivate and encourage a whole generation. They're not just texting in their group chat saying, I hope you guys have a good day. No, they're taking time out of their day to film their day, edit their day, put music over it, and upload it to multiple social media platforms. But before I get too carried away, I know you might be saying, well, maybe they're just doing it for the followers or the likes or to get enough followers to start making money. And you know what? That can very well be the case. But let's just take this video at face value, or these videos at face value, because we don't know the true intentions of those people and we haven't met them to form an opinion on them just yet. Speaking of forming an opinion, you can watch that video up here. It's actually good to see that, the generations that got dealt the worst hand are still finding their ways or trying to find ways to flip their misfortune and make something positive out of it. The two youngest generations, which are the millennials and the Gen Zers, got dealt arguably the worst hand financially, environmentally, and mentally, and they're still looking for ways to make the best of those hands that they've been dealt. Let me just preface this by saying, I know previous generations had to fight wars and, they had to go through all these terrible diseases and, stuff like that. I'm not saying that didn't happen. And, with the way the world is looking right now, we might have to fight another war here soon, but just stick with me here. I should also say that I know we're living in the best time medically right now because people are living longer, medicinal advancements are being made at a great rate, and all things considered, things are going well, right? They're going well, except when it comes to probably the three most important things, and that's housing, that's salaries, and the environmental impact that we're having on the earth. It's no secret that every major city in basically all of North America is having a housing crisis. Rent prices are through the roof, house prices are through the roof. It's all quickly getting out of control. Salaries are stagnant, they're not keeping up with inflation, and speaking of that, inflation is through the roof. According to Reuters, article linked down below, inflation was 5.7% in 2021. Canadians paid 6.6% more for shelter year over year. Groceries were up 7.4%, and gas prices jumped an astounding 32.3% compared to 2021. Talk about inflation. But despite all this, young people are still trying to make it work. And to be honest, I applaud them. I'm not gonna lie, part of me thinks that young people are just ignoring all the eye-opening statistics like inflation and other things like that, but who really knows? Like I said, we're just trying to make the best with the hand that we were dealt. But moving away from all this money talk, one other thing I wanted to talk about was how boomers treat people versus how young people treat people. This has definitely blown up over the past, couple years on social media with Karens and stuff like that. And this might, hit some nerves if you are an older person, but just try and bear with me here. Try to hear me out first. I remember I was at work one day and we stopped to get some lunch and we were in line, right? And there was this older lady being cashed out by the cashier and she was just humiliating the girl at the cashier. She was saying how the girl was slow and she would have went to the self-checkout if she knew she was gonna be this slow and blah, 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 blah. And to be honest, I was gonna say something, but luckily the person in front of us basically told the old lady to stop complaining and that she was lucky that there was someone there to cash her out and bag her groceries and stuff like that. You have to remember, this girl at the cashier is scanning the item and she's also putting it in the bag for the lady, and the old lady was still complaining. I'm paraphrasing what the young person said, but basically the young person stood up for the cashier. And the craziest thing is that after the old lady was done, she didn't even say sorry. She just went on about her day. The young person in front of us actually apologized for the old lady's behavior, and to me, that was just unbelievable. You would think that the young person would be the one scolding the cashier because she was being slow, and you would think that the old lady would have the decency to speak up, but nope, it was totally flipped around. It's also funny because from my experience, it's like that almost everywhere. It's always the old people that are the ones that are bitter towards young people. And then the best part is that they have the audacity to tell the younger generation that they're entitled. Like, somebody make it make sense for me. I've never seen a young person scolding a cashier or a person working retail, because the thing is that young people know what it's like. They know everybody is just trying to make a living and get by. It's almost like when you get old, you lose all your respect and your decency just starts disappearing from some phenomenon. I mean, who really knows? It seems to me like older generations were just snarky towards one another. They looked at what other people had and they would try to justify why they don't deserve those things, and they just shot down everything that they didn't like about other people. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's like that 100% of the time. There are definitely nice old people and young people that are assholes, but I feel like you would think that the script would be flipped. I don't really have much else to say except for the fact that if you're one of those people creating, I hate to call it motivational content, but uplifting content, just keep doing it. See, here's the thing. The older generation didn't, keep any repercussions in mind when they were destroying the earth in the name of profit. And as terrifying as it is to say, and as daunting as the task seems, it's going to be up to us to fix it for future generations. How are we going to do it? Well, I'm not sure yet, but we're going to figure something out. I believe in us. And as always, thanks for watching.